funny to think about suffragettes here 100 years ago facing many of the same issues that unfortunately we're once again grappling with today.
And the fact that they didn't just fight for the right to vote, but actually the fight was also about decent social housing. The fight was about having enough childcare support. Hi everyone, I'm Upsana Begum. I'm the Member of Parliament candidate for the Labour Party here in Poplar Limehouse.
I'm Laura Schwartz. I'm a lecturer in British history at the University of Warwick.
Just discussing about the kind of East End feminist history, the suffragette movement, and the value and the lessons that we can learn from that.
They were mainly working class women. This was a very poor area of London, despite the fact that it was so close to the wealth of the city. And women here got organised. They campaigned for the vote, but they wanted the vote so that they could change many other things.
So they set up, the Eleanor Arms, so they turned a pub into a nursery. They set up, the toy factory as well, so they set up provisions for women to be able to work. And those things are really important parts of history, and it's interesting to kind of relate that to where we stand now. We do have increasing levels of poverty. We have the highest rate of child poverty in Poplar Limehouse in the entire country. It's really good because I think in this Labour manifesto itself that was launched earlier this week, is that actually what's on offer for women, what's on offer for children, and we do have a workers' protection agency that's been planned and offered, which will look at the gender pay gap and how we can actually really tackle that across institutions, looking at how we can address the ethnicity pay gap as well and make sure that there's mandatory reporting on those areas.
Also, I think that gender pay gap isn't just about differences within professions, but also about the fact that women are clustered into low-paid jobs in general, and that's often because they have childcare responsibilities.
Extending the maternity pay from 9 months to 12 months. Not only is it about actually getting women into work, or actually allowing women to have the time to actually spend with their newborn child. 30 hours free childcare that was proposed and has been implemented by the Tory government, which doesn't actually go far enough because it doesn't actually fund the voucher system as well as it should. And it only actually starts the 30 hours free childcare from children that are 3 years and above, not what Labour's proposing, which is from 2-year-olds and 2 years and above. Having a lot more staff for special education needs and disabilities, so that would also go a long way in terms of really addressing and making sure that there's really good early intervention services for young children. There's a lot of hope in the manifesto. It's
a tragedy that councils have been cut to the bone under a Tory government, and that so many of these services have been cut. And another kind of really important socialist feminist who was active in this area 100 years ago was Minnie Lansbury. So we just walked past the clock that was dedicated to her. But she campaigned, first she was a suffragette, and then she campaigned in 1921 against poor people in Poplar being charged really high rates, whilst rich people in Chelsea were not having to pay really for anything. And she actually went to prison as part of the Poplar Rates Rebellion. And I guess it frightens me that we might be returning to these kind of Victorian levels of poverty and deprivation if we get another 5 years of Tory government.
Standing outside here today, it kind of really brings it back to kind of like the issue that we have locally, the issues that we have in terms of deprivation, in terms of child poverty, and the fact that actually we can do things with Labour government, we can do things locally. I mean, think about the fact that a lot of our children's centres are actually named after men. It'd be nice to see them be named after people like Minnie Lansbury.
We need a Minnie Lansbury children's centre.
Absolutely.